Okay, friends, part number 2, agriculture analysis of the subtle game mechanics of HoneyWood. Good afternoon, friends, we are from Ukraine. I'm happy to welcome everyone to my channel. With you as always, your unrepeatable Mr.Atlant. In this video, we'll continue our detailed review of the game that won a large number of funds, and that is HoneyWood. And to be more specific, today we will analyze with you agriculture and learn the intricacies. Так ли что заново? Заново. Agriculture and learn the заново. Agriculture and learn the intricacies of the game mechanics of the project. I advise you to watch this video to the end because the project is really interesting, and after watching it you will definitely be sure that this particular project will bring great profits and bring pleasure to the gameplay. We are getting started. To begin with, I would like to remind you what's farming in the game. Farming is an algorithm by which bears can generate or produce new honey coins for the game. Please note that this mechanic will be available until IGO, where bears will be able to purchase starter packs on the game's website and thus be the first to generate new honey coins. Unfortunately, after the honeycoin listing stage, the sale of starter package on the site will be closed. Unfortunately. And now let's continue. In the last issue we learned that I need to start raising a bear. Так, заново. In the last issue, we learned that I need to start raising a bear, but it's not so easy to do. What do you need to grow a bear? Step 1. One of the first steps is to have a free piece of land in the field. We analyzed this aspect in the last issue, so we continue. Step number 2. The second step is to purchase and install an apiary on the site. You and I figured out what an apiary is, and now let's pay attention to its features. Let's summarize. So, features of the apiary. Cost. Next, size in the field. In MVP, any apiary occupies one land cell. It can change later. Number of holes for bees. And the last, honeycoin storage capacity. There should be no questions about this. Let's move on to the next one. Step number 3. The third step is the purchase of bees and FTM, the main function of bees. For players, namely you and me, bees are needed to generate and produce honeycoin. Each bee occupies one slot in the apiary. When all slots in an apiary are occupied, it is considered fully occupied. Sorry my accent, and no new bees can be placed inside. Here is such an aspect. Next, features of bees. Cost. Of course, it's cost because there are different types of bees at different prices. Next, spans of honeycoin generation. There are bees that generate coins much faster and some slower, so be sure to study the characteristic of this or that bee. Dependence on air. One is basic. If more than one, the bee generates. Honeycoin worse if the air goes down. This is multiplied by the purity of the air and then the generation rate. Also, the team draws our attention to the following. In the next updated version of the game, we fully plan to add more features for the bees, including but not limited to their appearance, wing color, eye shape, and so on. In this case, each bee in the game will become a unique asset. I'm sure that after these words you have questions about bees. How many coins can one bee generate? But the formula will help us in this matter, which you can see in the picture. You just need to subtitle Substitute your values and you will find out the answer to your questions. Well, friends, that's all for me. I was glad to be to be useful to you. Well, friends, that's all for me. I was glad to be useful to you. As we can see, the game subtitles are interesting and add bright colors to the gameplay. I recommend the HoneyWood project to everyone because in addition to pleasure, you will have the opportunity to earn good money in just 5 minutes. See you in the next issue. Take care and stay safe.